Well, I think, I think a lot of the, where a lot of controversy stems from, first, I don't think nobody didn't want the torch initially brought into the community. A lot of the controversy started, of course, what was happening in BC.
Yeah.
A lot of talk was definitely about that. Then after that, once the torch was coming into town, a lot of people didn't want the RCMP to come into town, and they didn't come into town. Technically speaking,
that we knew,
that we know, of
that
course.
we knew of.
Yeah, but I mean, basically, I think a lot of people are looking at it in different ways. My opinion varies. I mean, obviously, I don't want to see the RCMP come in here because we do have from the council standpoint, we have a policing agreement. From the Longhouse standpoint, we have jurisdiction over our territory. From Stuart's position, he also brought up a good point in that there was people who just didn't want to have that in there because we are supporting the conglomerate, which is the Olympics. So there's a lot of feelings.
Yeah, there was a lot of different sides.
A lot of different sides. And then I look on the side of what Alwyn had said, that this is an inspiration for any athlete, of course, to achieve the highest stature in, athleticism.
Yeah.
But, I mean, all in all, I mean, it went through and left and business as usual.
Business as usual. The only thing, is that I found that a lot of people are saying, well, it got too political. It took away from the whole, feeling about the Olympics and the whole good feeling, everything the Olympics support. But I mean, the Olympics in itself have always been controversial. They've been boycotted. People, it's just been controversial. So, when we started talking about this months ago, I don't know why nobody seemed to anticipate that it was going to come to this crux, in terms of we're always the community that makes a statement. We do support our Native brothers and sisters. And then we had all the issues of the torchbearer itself, who was going to run. Why is it only Alwyn? How come Wanique, who is from our community, ran in Wandage? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all these questions have, merit. Some of them may never be answered, but the event, if we can just focus on the event that, and not all of the other issues, it went off really nice.
It did.
Despite the fact that Stuart Mayo Jr. gets arrested in the middle of the torch passing. He goes to approach the torchbearer or the team with I think it was a petition. And, all the kids are standing there. He gets arrested, gets thrown into the squad car, and they take him off to the police station. So it goes on, and I think they made their point at this, at this time. But all of the drama aside, I thought it was good. There was a lot of people in this community who wanted the torch to come through the community.
Sure.
And they got their wish, so it came through, but not without fault.
Well, one thing should be said, quite the surprise that, this whole event turned into, a political melee. Well, welcome to Kahnawake first and foremost. Second of all, anytime that they've had the run with the Olympic torch in whatever country that they've run it, there's always been a sense of controversy.
The other thing that we did get a call about this morning was during this whole scuffle with the Kahnawake Peacekeepers and Stuart Mayo Jr.
Right.
was the MCK politician, if you will, Chief Carl Horn, got involved in the scuffle.
Okay.
So you see him on tape, and I think we're going to roll in a few minutes if we can right now, actually. You see him, he's involved in the scuffle. Now some people are saying, well, that's not appropriate. There was other police there were conservation officers there. What is he doing assisting the police when clearly they don't need his help? So I don't know if this is going to become somewhat of an issue in the community for certain individuals, but it was mentioned. We are looking into it. If we can go to a clip of Jody right now, this is what she had to say. The other issue is former peacekeeper Carl Horn got involved in the scuffle. Now, did the police ask him to help them?
I'm not going to comment on that. I wasn't there.
Okay. But you don't know that if they asked for his assistance, because on full video on CTV and Mohawk TV and everywhere else, there's pictures of him, getting involved in the scuffle, which surprised a lot of community members because he's no longer on the force. So what was his role in that? Was he asked to help them, even though there was like 4 or 5 peacekeepers who had their hands on him?
Well, let's put it this way: if you were a civilian and you seen somebody getting assaulted or whatever, would you just walk right by or try to help that person if they were in need of help?
Well, I would try to help the person, not the police, only if the police asked me. So that's what I'm asking you. Did the police ask?
I can't speak for the people that were on scene.
As much as the torch relay is over, there's still outstanding issues that obviously we're going to be dealing with. So,
well, it'll be interesting to see what comes out of this. I think, Carl still has the aspect of being a peacekeeper. I mean,
yeah.
he got, he has the training to do so.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Maybe Carl just has to remember that that's not his position anymore.
Yeah. So, Carl, there was an incident that had taken place at the torch relay that you were involved in with the Kahnawake peacekeepers. What happened, and what can you tell us about that event?
Well, I was following behind the torch relay with Chief Johnny Montour, and I just noticed an individual approach the actual torch that was surrounded by the peacekeepers. And he was addressed by a peacekeeper, but it seemed that he wasn't going to go easily. So I just felt that I had to get involved and make sure it didn't escalate to the point where more kids witnessed it and possible protesters so the situation wouldn't escalate into something even worse than it was.
Why did you feel that you had to get involved?
Personally, a lot of men and women put a lot of hard work and effort to make sure the torch proceeded through the territory, and I felt I want to make sure that their hard work wasn't forgotten. They put a lot of hard work and effort to make sure, right to the 11th hour, to make sure the torch proceeded through Kahnawake on the wishes of the community. I mean, we all seen the youth there, and that's what it was there for. The youth to see the torch come through the community, as well as the elders. Who knows if it's just going to be the last time that ever happens for them personally. So I want to make sure that it wasn't disrupted.
Some people would say, well, that's what they had all these police there for, and you're no longer an officer, you're, a politician now. It's not your place. How do you feel about that?
Well, anytime a peacekeeper's in trouble, well, not in trouble, if they need assistance, I'll be there anytime, whether I'm a carpenter or an ironworker or a politician. I'm not a peacekeeper no more, but they'll always be in my heart, and if they ever need any assistance from me in any way, and if I'm in the area, I'll help them out.
Everybody had good intentions across the board, whether it was
on their side.
On their side. I mean, Stuart, in believing that there shouldn't be the Olympics on native land, the Longhouse position saying that we have jurisdiction over our own position,
Mm-hmm.
the council with their position saying that this is a peaceful endeavor to look good in front of the whole world.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone had their own ideas of eventually just trying to make Kahnawake #1, just in their own way.
Yeah. So, anyways, with that, don't go away. We're going to be right back after this quick commercial break.